Good afternoon, guys, from Diani, Kenya. Beautiful Diani, Kenya. Guys, it's a beautiful day today, and the weather is about 90 degrees today. And if you listen closely, you're able to hear the sounds of the birds, you're able to hear the sounds of the bees, you're able to listen to all those beautiful things. Somebody asked me recently, would I be able to stay in Kenya permanently? Would I be able to stay in Africa permanently? And I wanted to talk through a little bit about the logistics behind that. I wanted to talk through a little bit about the challenges that come along with that. And I wanted to talk through a little bit about why that would be a great opportunity across the board, okay? So, the first thing I wanted to talk through is, oh, guys, it's such a beautiful day. The first thing I wanted to talk through was this, okay? So, the logistics behind it, okay? So, anytime you move anywhere, there's going to be a couple of different things that you want to research, that you want to look up. All right, so you want to look up the visa requirements, okay? So when I say visa requirements, I'm talking about how long or what type of visa do you need to be able to have any type of long-term stay, any type of permanent stay, or anything like that. That's the really, really big thing, is the logistics behind it, okay? What are the logistics, okay? So in terms of Kenya, after 7 years, you're able to qualify for citizenship, all those different things. You're able to get your Kenyan passport, your East African passport, all those different things. That allows you to basically be able to travel throughout East Africa a little bit more stress-free. The good thing is that when you have an American passport, when you have American citizenship, you're still able to do all those different things. But the East African one probably gives you a little bit more credibility, okay? Just a little bit more credibility. Whether on the surface or behind the scenes, you still get a little bit more credibility from it. So you want to research the visa requirements, okay? What type of visa is going to be required? What do you need for that visa? What are the income needs that you have? Is it number of years that you have to maintain stay there? Do you need a bank account there? Do you need investments there? What type of capital do you need? You want to research all those different things, because you can't just come on a tourism visa and then expect to stay, 10, 20 years, because it's not going to be able to work like that. So that's the logistics. The second part of the logistics is thinking about housing, okay? Housing. Where are you going to stay, right? Because if you're doing Airbnbs for a significant period of time, there's going to be challenges that are going to be associated with that, okay? Mainly because Airbnbs can be a little bit costly. So you want to think about something like, how do I get a long-term stay? How do I get an apartment? How do I get some of those different things, okay? That's going to be really, 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 really important, all right? The other thing that you want to think about is, how do I find that apartment? Am I going to go through a local broker, i.e. like a realtor or something like that? Am I going to go through Facebook Marketplace? Or am I going to do the 12-month Airbnb, the 6-month Airbnb? How am I going to fizzle it out? But if you're going to stay somewhere long term, if you're going to stay somewhere permanent, you're going to want a home base, okay? You're not going to be wanting to travel and do all those different things day in and day. You're not going to be wanting to move every 3 to 4 months. Some people would, some people won't, right? It all depends on what your personal preference is and things like that. The other thing logistically you'll have to think about is transportation, right? Do you want to catch tuk-tuks all the time? Do you want a moto? Do you want a scooter? Or do you eventually want to rent a car? If you're going to rent a car, if you're going to buy a car, you got to think about that international driver's license, right? The international driver's permit through AAA, the IDP. You can get that for about $20, okay, through AAA. And it's a really quick process. It's actually not a driver's test. It's actually just some documentation and some paperwork that you fill out, and then you're able to get it. And then that qualifies you to be able to drive in over like 200 countries or something like that. It's a really, really, really good thing, all right? So you want to get that international driver's permit, okay? You definitely want to think about that. The other thing that you want to think about, all right, outside of the logistics of that, is where you're going to be doing your food shopping, where you're going to be doing your groceries, where you're going to get your fruits and vegetables. Are you going to go, local? Are you going to find, are you going to go to the Soko, right, which is like the local vendors market here and things like that? What are you going to do for those different things? That handles the logistics a little bit, right? The other piece is, if you're going to buy a house, how much are you going to be willing to pay for that house? Where's that house going to be located at? Are you comfortable with that type of long-term decision? What if the resale value isn't going to be like the resale value in America, right? There's going to be many, many, many different things that you'll have to think about um, whenever you're doing your research and you're thinking about staying somewhere permanent. Okay, so for me, would I consider Kenya to be a permanent home? I absolutely would. And let me tell you why. All right. Whenever I'm moving somewhere, whenever I'm thinking about going anywhere, I'm thinking about things from a structural standpoint. All right. So the first thing you want to think about, you want to evaluate safety. Okay, is it safe? Okay. Kenya is, I don't want to say surprisingly, it's very, very, very safe. Even the beach areas, even Nairobi in comparison to a Philadelphia or New York is extremely safe, right? When you think about Philadelphia, it's one of the top 15, top 20 most dangerous places in the world, similar to New Orleans, similar to other parts of America that are extremely dangerous. This is extremely dangerous for whatever reason in parts of America. And some people get into that. They say, okay, it deals with gun violence, access to guns, poverty, all this different. I get it, I get it, I get it. But the point of the matter is, it's not as safe as it is here. It's very, very safe here. And you would think here it's not as safe, right? Because there's a lot of military age, dudes that are sometimes inactive, i.e. just standing around and things like that. Um, but it's still a very, very safe place. And from what I've found, like people are extremely pleasant, people are extremely kind, people are extremely warm, right? So I'm always thinking about things from a standpoint of safety, right? Because if you don't have safety, ultimately you don't have anything, all right? You don't have safety, you don't have anything, all right? So I'm thinking about safety. The second thing outside of safety is healthcare, okay? If you don't have healthcare, right? If you don't have access to adequate care and things like that, you're not gonna have anything, all right? They have tier one hospitals here. In comparison, a tier one hospital, I want you to do a quick search on ChatGPT. And when I want you to ask ChatGPT, I want you to tell ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, whatever AI that you use, I want you to ask them what tier one hospitals are in your neighborhood and what would be the comparison to the tier one hospitals in Nairobi. And odds are the tier one hospitals in Nairobi would be over your local hospital that you have in your local community or local area. So, a lot of times when we think about Africa, we think no hospitals, dirt roads, 99 cents a day can feed a starving child and things like that. But ultimately, it's not like that. And that's all been a lie. They have hospitals, they have access to care, they have, smaller clinics similar to the ones we'd have in America. Healthcare isn't an issue. Now they don't have socialized healthcare here, but they do have subsidized healthcare here, where people are sick and they need help. Uh, they're able to get the help that they need. So that really does matter. Um, the third thing that I think about is surprisingly like national morale. Are people proud to live here? Are people happy and optimistic about what the future is to bring in terms of Kenya and all those different things. And you find that most people are really genuinely happy about the country. They're really prideful about being Kenyan. They're really supportive of their countrymen. They're really supportive of their country women, their country folk. And when I say that is, I say basically they look out for one another, right? In America, it's a much more individualistic society. It's a much more individualistic culture. And when it's individualistic like that, there's going to be some challenges and difficulties that come along with that as it relates to cohesion, as it relates to unity, as it relates to all those different things. So you got to remember, guys, each and every day when I get up, I have the opportunity to see this right here, each and every day, each and every day. Okay? Now, I have an indoor of course, I have a bathroom with a shower and all those different things inside. But if I don't want to take a shower indoors, okay, if I don't want to take a shower indoors, I can always come right over here, guys. Right over here. Let me take you. Right? That's the other part of the compound right over there. I can take you right over here. Okay, guys? Let me show you. I don't want, I could always take an outdoor shower right here. Right here, guys. Right here. Right? I mean, how beautiful is that? In America, that's just not something that we see very often. Maybe it's just, been in a colder region. But here it's a very common thing to also have access to outdoor showers and have a swimming pool right over there, a diving pool, plunge pool. I want to get into that. As you see, of course, relaxing chairs out here. And this is what a typical compound looks like, here in Africa. So that's the beautiful part about it. And then when I'm done with that, I come in the veranda right over here. Come in the veranda, ceiling fan, where I do a lot of my work at. Okay. Okay, I come in the veranda. All right. Then I come through right here. I open this door. I have one bedroom right here. Then I have another bedroom right here. Okay. Then I have kitchen right here. Okay. With fresh fruit, fresh eggs, rice, water. Look, onions, seasonings, all those different things. Okay. Then I come right over here. I have bathroom, shower. Okay. So, when you think about Africa, let me actually show you this back area over here because there's another back area. I'll show you this so you can see it. Okay. Then there's a back area right over here. Washer, dryer. Okay. And then back exit right over there. So, when people think about, okay, would I live in Africa? I don't want to live in Africa. It's all dirt roads. It's not developed. Blah 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 blah. I'm paying roughly maybe $12 a night for all this space, right? Something like that. 12, 10 to $15 a night for all this space. Something crazy, right? Maybe no, maybe it's like $10 to $23 a night. Let me do the math real quick. Okay, let's do the math real quick. Okay, I'm paying $20 a night for all of this space, okay? Come on, guys. Come to Africa. Get here, get here, get here. Look, I have an ebook below, my African relocation guide, that saves you a lot of time by covering a lot of the information that I had to research, and I just put it in one guide for you. One-stop shop. You don't even have to go far to be able to find it. Look at the beautiful trees. Look at the greenery. Look at the vegetation. Look at how beautiful it is, guys. But remember, seeing it is believing it. It's one thing for me to tell you. It's a whole nother thing for you to be able to get here and be able to see it for yourself. So eventually, I hope that you do that. I hope that you consider it. I hope that you decide at some point to make Africa your home. Okay? And most of all, I consider it for the future. It's going to be home. Just the opportunity to be able to get away from all the racism and discrimination and all the other bullshit that comes along with being a black man in America. Just the fact that you're around nothing but melanated people. I can't tell you the last time I've seen a white person. Not that, again, I know I got some white viewers and all those different things, and I'm not portraying that message of, I'm looking to not see, fucking, white people and shit like that. I'm not saying that. Not saying that. I'm just saying that 99% of my days, I only see black people, right? And it doesn't mean there's not any white people here. There are. It's just a whole bunch, right? And you see them in clubs too. They come out, they, very regular, but it's just like a sprinkle, right? It's not like you go out and you're saying, 98% of the people when you go out are them, right? Whereas here, 99% of the people when you go out are folks that are going to look like you, right? And that's an interesting dynamic too. And maybe I'll hit on that in another video because, a lot of times in America, when you see that many people, you say, all right, shit getting ready to go down, right? It's getting ready to pop off. Here, things are really, really peaceful. So, again, when I think about permanently staying in Africa, I think about the safety. I think about the logistics. I think about the healthcare. And I think about the national morale. Are people optimistic and positive? The other thing I think about is, the politics, right? Is there a lot of unrest, right? Because you don't want, government takeover or something like that to happen while you're here, and then they begin to develop anti-foreigner, sentiment and all those different things, and now you're trapped in the middle of that, and that just wouldn't be good, right? So those are some of the different things I think about. And the other thing I think about is from like a economic standpoint, do people work? Do people have jobs? Are they able to provide for their families, or are they just sitting by the wayside, right? Because again, that's going to impact crime, that's going to impact safety, that's going to impact all them different things. The other thing I think about is land size, the cost to build, right? Is it going to be costly to be able to build, right? Because again, my next step is to be able to purchase an abundance of land, build some guest homes on it, build some commercial businesses on it, build some roads on it, all those different things. That's what I'm looking forward to doing. And I'm going to document that whole entire experience too. And if you want to support that, please, you can support that by hitting that like button below, hitting that subscribe button, and supporting this journey. Guys, the future is bright and Africa's rising. So it's not a question of why would I consider Kenya or Africa to be my home. The question is, why not?